Now, joining us now with more is the attorney for former President Donald Trump. Alina Habba is with us, along with Fox News legal analyst Gregg Jarrett is with us. Alina, let me go to this very important question of how Hillary was treated, how Sandy Berger was treated. Let's talk about that February letter that they got from the National Archives and Record Administration, and let's talk about what happened in June, because it seems like they were saying in writing that Donald Trump was cooperating. Apparently, he cooperated in June, just before this raid happened recently. So what changed in the interim?
That's an incredibly good question. So first of all, what's the difference between Hillary and the predecessors? Well, it's very simple. Donald Trump is a Republican. He's leading in the polls, and that is a problem for Joe Biden and anybody that's going to be running against him if he chooses to run for 2024. That's the answer to that question. If he was a registered Democrat, this wouldn't have happened. As far as Ms. Wall's letter, it states very clearly that she was told by counsel to President Biden, again, like you said, misinformation. They said they didn't know. But counsel to the president said that he deferred to Ms. Wall and that she could then decide to just remove the privilege that every president prior has had. So that's the issue there. As to what happened in between June and August, well, we know what happened. This was an event that was prime right before election. It is prime because he's way ahead in the polls. And the Wall Street Journal's headline today stated it perfectly clearly. This was an improper search. It was not done correctly. There was no need for it, and he was cooperating. There is absolutely no reason. No reason. And now we have evidence of that they were cooperating.
Gregg Jarrett, the night of the raid at Mar-a-Lago, you were on this very program, and you pointed out what the Wall Street Journal mentioned today, and that is that the Federal Records Act gives authority to a former president to have custody and control over presidential papers. I want you to talk about that and add to that the right of a president to declassify documents as he sees fit, which, by the way, is not something that, say, a Secretary of State like Hillary Clinton could do.
Well, and the other difference is that there was overwhelming evidence of intent on Hillary Clinton's part. And the statutes that she violated and should have been prosecuted under used terms like knowingly and intentionally and deliberately. Well, she certainly did that. But here with President Trump, presidents don't pack up their boxes in the Oval Office. They're not allowed to. It's by law. That's done by the GSA. Does anybody think that when he got down to Mar-a-Lago, he sat in a room for weeks on end or months on end going through boxes and papers? No, of course not. And he cannot be held vicariously culpable under the law for the actions of his staff or auditors or lawyers. But the important point I made to you the night of the raid is that the Presidential Records Act is the controlling statute. It gives him a measure of control and custody and possession and access. And of course, these two constitutional scholars in today's Wall Street Journal made the exact same point. Merrick Garland knew all of that. There's no enforcement provision under the Records Act. It's not a crime. So what did Merrick Garland do? He tossed in 3 general criminal statutes. Well, wait a minute. Under law for more than 100 years in America, a specific statute like the Records Act takes precedent and supersedes any general statutes. And again, Garland knew that, but he wanted to gain access to Trump's compound for an ulterior motive, to look for some evidence, any evidence of a different crime, maybe something related to January 6th. So he tossed out a general warrant, which is a clear violation of the Fourth Amendment, which requires it to be specific. This wasn't. And the magistrate should never have signed it. And I bet he has a bit of buyer's remorse now, which is probably the reason why he wants to divulge the contents of the affidavit, because maybe that shows not only lies and misrepresentations, but omissions about how the president had actually been cooperating and how a subpoena should have been used instead of a warrant.
going to be very interesting to watch unfold. Alina, thank you. Gregg Jarrett, thank you. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.